Okay, they are here. So, guys, we have a special edition today. We have some of our qualified seers coming here. They're just joining in a minute. So, stay tuned. So, good morning, everyone. Today we have a special guest and a special student, should I say? Tunish, join us.
Hi everyone.
So, this is Nishiket. You might have read his testimonial or you would have watched his video multiple times. So, Nish is currently working with Deloitte. Yeah. So, uh, he's one of my all-time favorite students, and most importantly, he's the one who is able to describe what we do in a very articulate manner. In fact, he did it better than us. And Nish was very instrumental in helping many other further students clear their exams. He has very good practical experience, deep understanding of subjects like auditing. So we have invited him to have a conversation with you guys. So Nish, how is life treating you post CA?
It's been there's a complete shift, sir, I would say,
Mhm.
compared to articleship and post qualification.
Mhm.
Uh, Definitely, the number of opportunities have increased.
Okay.
The exposure to various industries or clients, because your professional knowledge has literally evolved from articleship till qualification.
Mm.
So now you get opportunities to even lead a team. So that's how there's a drastic change if I compare with my internship with post qualification. So it's pretty much what I had expected that I'll have after qualification, and now yeah, it's pretty. I would say work is definitely always hectic, but yeah, it's more than enjoying it.
In terms of the stress which you have to handle before clearing the exam and after clearing the exam, how is it different? Because even post qualification life, you have a lot of stress. So how is it different when it comes to this?
So when I have to talk about the student life, it's more draining, to sit at one place and study the same amount of books. If you've written the exam already once, if you're reading it for the second time, it's very difficult to generate that motivation internally to sit for long hours and study. But if I have to compare between the stress which I had while studying and while working, different type of stress actually.
Right.
Work stress is more of you have a deadline, you have a cutoff on a daily basis, you have internal targets on a daily basis, which is not set by you, but which is set by your seniors.
Right.
But when it comes to studying by yourself and all, not everyone will be able to plan it better. According to them, based on their capability, they might set a particular target.
Right.
Uh, Maybe it is over ambitious or under ambitious, but there is a target which may not be so achievable. So that's the only difference. That is the only cause for stress, I would say, when you're studying.
So I'll just go and bring, I guess it would be sure. I'll just be back in a minute.
Yeah. So it's a happy morning. Oh, happy to see you guys early awake in the morning. Um, so yeah, pretty much. Work wise, it's more of a daily basis. You manage it pretty well, but studies is something which is very difficult to manage. Considering me who has written like about 3 to 4 attempts already of CM final, uh, the amount of stress has only increased each attempt and it's not reduced. So definitely that is one thing. It's pretty much difficult to manage by your own self. So I took help from Makansa to deal with it, and yeah, here I am today.
So we have Suresh coming up. So Suresh Kalurala, who might have read his testimonial, probably out of watched his video very recently. Shreya, come here. So Sai is a Marepalli, the X Factor, Y Factor guy. So, uh, these are, one of the earliest students, HLS, and we had a great time bonding together. And now we are planning something really big. So that's the reason why they're joining us today. So Nish, Teja, and Suresh, this time, we're going with a very limited set of students, I'll show you. So we only have 10 offline students. Now we are doing offline. 5 girls and 5 boys, 10 offline, and 5 online. That's it. So 10 plus 15. So the idea this time is we want to have a hit rate of 100. Uh, just like every attempt, different students have different gaps, but then we want to see how can we make it 100%. So once this is done, we'll operate at a very different level. So the direction is towards ISB because ISB, currently they charge around 49 lakh 50,000 per year. They give it NBA. Now, if somebody spends 1 year at HLS, can give anything, whatever the exam they want to crack will help them. So that is the direction which you're going. So guys, this we're bringing them as experts in a way, so they'll be further able to help you fix your problems. And from today, please understand the expectation is going to be very high because we're going to be ruthless. And at any point of time, if you understand that you're not cooperating the way we want, we'll outrightly say that this is not going to happen because we are going to do our best and beyond. This has never happened before. I've never worked only on 15 students in any attempt. And that would literally it's 10 plus 5, 10 offline and 5 online. So during this session today, you'll be able to know where you stand, what are the various aspects which have to be fixed, and there are other things which are coming into the picture. So please pay complete attention. I'll take you through the complete journey, and also we'll figure out how we can actually help. Is the context clear for all of you? Okay, yeah. Rest of you, please try if you can switch on your cameras, guys. Others also, please try if you can switch on your cameras. Anshu, Mitra, and all. Yeah. Yeah. So let me set the context of the meeting. One, I'll help you understand, like what's sitting on the other side. First, I'll help you understand what they have done, what worked for them. That's step number one. Step number two, I'll help these guys understand what you have done so far and what has to be done. And step number three is where we decide mutually what we are going to do together. Is that clear, parents? Cool. So I'm sharing you a presentation which we prepared for these guys. And I'll quickly take you through what they have done and probably you'll also understand it from their perspective. And from there, we'll take this forward. Please help me understand if you're able to see the screen. Please let us know if you're able to see the screen. Is the screen visible, guys? Can I get a confirmation? Screen. Is it visible? Okay, perfect. Please confirm if the video is playing and Suresh audio is audible. Is he audible? Not audible. Okay.
I still remember the calls that we had in between exams when I was feeling very nervous taking on my exams.
₹9. ₹9 cannot even buy you a packet of chips, but it can absolutely.
Hello, sir. We have made it. From now, it's CS Suresh Kalvarala. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I owe you lifelong. Thank you for your support, guidance, whatnot, everything that you showed on us. You had put in more efforts than us. This wouldn't be possible without your guidance and techniques. I still remember the calls that we had in between exams when I was feeling very nervous taking on my exams. The way you responded to the calls helped me a lot to clear the exams. Thank you, sir. Thank you for making me a part of mentorship program and also a part of Him Life School.
Let's take us through your case study all by yourself. Come in. Yeah, you're right. Guys, if you have any question in between, you can always unmute yourself and talk about it. Okay. So Suresh is taking through his case study. We'll get started. I'm sharing the screen.
Yes. Hi everyone. This is Suresh.
You have to be louder. Video logo se apako.
So this is CS Suresh Kalvarala. So it all started in 2020 when I watched a video of sir telling like this is what we are doing. I mean in the HLS where sir given an insight of what exactly is mentorship. Then I thought of taking that weekly program. Then I since I got time to study, I thought I can study myself. So I didn't opted for the mentorship. And then I flunked in the exams in my first attempt. Then I thought of taking again the mentorship program. So it was then I really like the fees was very high. So I again thought of not taking it the mentorship, but somehow see I had no chance. I had to clear to support my family. So that is where I took the mentorship. So this is where I am now today. So see I hardly had 80 days of preparation for my two groups, meaning 7 papers because I already have an exemption in the elective paper. So 80 days, 7 papers is not easy, but we made it easy because of these techniques where we follow like in the HLS, all the box breathing, the 5 times revision exams. It all helped me to clear my 7 papers in one.
Perfect. So Suresh, now they have another 45 days.
Yes.
Some of them are writing 5 papers, like unlike you guys, there's one advantage of writing 5 papers.
Mhm.
So what should be the primary focus in these 5 days?
Instead of you completing that, I mean, see, time is essence. So students always thinks whether I could complete this in this time frame. So that shouldn't be a thought process. So you have to do it. See, like we did 16 marks or 20 marks per day.
Right.
So you have to plan your papers in such a way that you have to cover at least 16 to 20 marks in per day. So this way you can I mean have a grip at least of 80% of your subject in 1 week. So again, when we write an exam in at the weekend, so we can able to like see ourselves where we stand in that paper. So so it will help. I mean, 45 days when you have 90 days,
Yeah.
same thing goes. So days is not matter. The effort what we are putting is matters.
Perfect. Fair enough. There are some students who are still not sure about both the groups are on because they have completed a couple of papers here, 1 paper there. So for them, what would be your advice?
See, writing 2 groups is an advantage. So if you have already have an exemption in some of the papers, I'll suggest you to go for 2 papers because 2 groups because see, it happened in my case. I failed in the first group, but since I got an exemption in the 60 elective paper where I already have 80 marks. So I got something around 185 something in the first group, and in the second group I got around 220. So it the
Aggregate based
Again,
audit,
yeah.
Mm.
So it helped me like in even though I failed in the first group, second group helped me to clear both the groups at a time. So see, you're not good at everybody's not good at every paper. So the paper that you are good at, you have to score more to get both groups aggregate. So that is where I suggest.
Oh, understood.
Hmm. So, yeah.
Offline students have two different companies. I'll meet them. And Suresh, in terms of this, like, if they have to reach this Hall of Fame, like where you guys are all there. So,
So one thing,
what is the role of
one thing they have to constantly believe in themselves. So during our preparation, we might think something or the other will not work. So it happens to everybody. So stay calm, stay focused. Just be yourself, be confident, and just live those moments and give your best. That is where you have to do like it all cumulatively help in your final exams.
Understood. Now, in terms of time, energy, attention, what should they focus upon most?
See, time and energy, sir, because time is something you have you have little time. I mean, 45 days. So
not even that.
So the time when you have to plan your time in such a way that you get more time for your preparations and less time for other activities. So if you plan time, energy, and attention, it will.
Understood. So maximize your time to the Now, for them to, one of the reasons or one of the ways to go about it is if why is very clear, how will be easier. So for them to go ahead and clear CA. Now, what is the biggest change which you experience after clearing CA?
See, the respect that I get, and see, I'm literally in my home. I'm the earning person now, so that is the biggest change that I see in myself. So that is one thing, and in my family as well, there were no highly qualified. Everybody like degree or MBS. So I'm the only chartered accountant, and I'm the highest educated person. So that is the biggest thing, and they see as me as like I've set a benchmark for them. So
Right.
So that is where now the coming generation will look at me and maybe they'll change their
So
perspective
you
about
become the
education.
role model or reference model.
Yes.
And what changes is your family experiencing because of you clearing CA? Like, what are the changes which your family? Because one is you understand that you are treated differently, you get respect, you get monetary benefits, but you clearing CA, how is it impacting your family?
So initially, like when I was like preparing for CA finals, everybody was asking like, when do they get married? When do they clear? These were the all questions. Now, and when they asked, my parents were like dumb. I mean, they have no answer.
Right.
So now they can speak. I mean, confidently. Like, he's earning. He's its choice. So why don't why do you have to interfere? So let them have his own decision and get it sorted out. So that is the biggest change in their mentality.
I understand. So they have a better ground to respond to social benefits. Now, after clearing CA, what are the few things which you're able to apply in your career and life? Like whatever you learned in HLS, is that something which you're able to carry forward and apply in other dimensions?
Yes, so the learning that I get here, I mean, not in terms of techniques, but in terms of the way you treated us. I carried them to my colleagues as well. Like I talk to people, I help people now as well. I mean, some of the techniques you don't know, but some students will call me on maybe on the LinkedIn or maybe something they see the testimonial and they call me and I'll help them because that I'm coming from the stage, like I know what it is exactly.
Right.
So
One is you made it a point to help others when you can.
Hmm.
That's good. Fantastic. In terms of career, how are you approaching it? Like, say, in terms of how you're planning your career.
currently I'm like, already, I'm in EYGS. So my performance is good as of now.
Hmm.
So I'm expecting a promotion this year. Maybe if I get a promotion, I may be moving to some other firm. I'm planning actually, but not sure about it.
So that part is sorted. In general, you are able to help people.
Yes,
Whether it's colleague or some outside help, you are doing it whenever you can. Perfect.
definitely yes.
Okay. And finally, you just got into offline mentorship for the first time. So what are your thoughts on offline mentorship? You do not have this choice. Now that we are doing this, what are your thoughts on this?
Say after COVID, everything happens on online. So even the corporates now like asking us to come to office, spend time with colleagues, to have that teaming, bonding kind of thing. So it's good for them as well because four people coming together, sharing thoughts, right? So they'll have some ideas maybe, and each one can help each other. Online, it may not that effective, but offline they can see, they can visualize, they can help each other, they can talk. I mean, whatever they can. I mean, offline. I mean, on more like more than online. So like if even in our case when we go to office, right? So online meetings just happens for just happens for us. No video. Nobody knows what we are doing in the background. So offline we have people, so we can see their faces. I mean, what they are like. I mean, on the gestures, we can think of something like what they are expecting, what they are thinking about.
Fair.
So that's it.
So the whole world is moving towards offline in a particular way. So we are in that direction. Good. Great. I'll get back to you. So guys, Suresh, before and after clearing, there's a lot of change in his whole family. That's one thing which we're proud of. We'll get back to the conversation where we'll do all of this together. But meanwhile, I'll bring Nish for a few minutes and then Teja, and we'll open up the discussion from your perspective. Thanks for your thoughts. Yeah.
Do you see any change in 3 hours maybe? And
that will we'll discuss. We have. I'll get back to that. Of course, there is a lot of change. Nish. So now we have Nish with us. So you might have watched the very famous long video, 1 hour conversation with Nish. So for now, I'll get started with a shorter one.
Hi everyone, my name is Nishiket Ganesh. I have
Is the audible, guys? Is the video playing for you?
Hi everyone, my name is Nishiket Ganesh. I have cleared my CA final exams in the November 2022 attempt. It is really a dream come true, not just for me but also for my parents, because now that I look at them, all I can see is tears of joy in their eyes. I have been associated with Himakan sir for quite a while, for quite some time, and I have learned many new techniques under him. Let me talk about few of them. The first one is focus block slots. Before joining this program, I used to study continuously for a period of 10 to 12 hours each day, but without any proper plan in place. So focus block slots is nothing but you have 50 minutes of reading, 5 minutes of revision, and 5 minutes of resting for each hour. This is each hour. So we have such slots, 10 of such slots for each day. So we are effectively studying for 10 hours every day with a proper plan in place. So this was really helpful. Second technique which I've learned was FTR, 5-time revision. This is the single most powerful weapon, I would say, which you can use in your preparation. Because for me personally, this has helped in my Group 1 exams. All the answers started coming at the back of the mind, and I didn't stop writing in the exam, so that was a plus point. This is the first time where I was able to answer almost the entire question paper, be it practical or theory. So FTR is a very powerful technique. Third one is your EMT, exam mistake tracker. This is my personal favorite because only when you know your mistakes will you be able to rectify them, and only when you know your the mistakes of your colleagues or your co-students will you not make them in your own exam. So this is the one with this one technique is what I will advise. And then there are other techniques which help with your mindset, such as box breathing technique. It really helps to bring back your focus in the game. So for those who have second thoughts of joining this program under Himakant sir, the only question I would like to ask you is how badly or how soon do you want to clear your exams? I struggled clearing these exams for a period of 1.5 year, and I was really frustrated looking at the same books, same topics. So I asked the same question to myself: how badly do I want to clear? The answer was pretty clear, because I didn't want to sit with the books any longer. So I didn't have any second thoughts. I blindly trusted sir and his process, and the result is in front of you. I hope you also get to see this day in your life. I wish you all the best for your exams. Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Nishiket Ganesh. I have cleared
Unish, what changed after that video? So how is life treating you right now, and how are things going on?
Life's changed actually.
Hmm.
Now I'm getting to at least do what I wanted to do. During studies, you feel guilty when you take a break actually. So now I'm able
It's
to
okay.
take
Guilt-free breaks.
now I'm able to take the break and do what I want to, meet whomever I want to meet. So it's pretty much under my control right now. So I'm satisfied, I would say.
Okay.
That has changed.
So more than the preparation phase is far more satisfactory. As you also earlier mentioned, this stress is different as compared
This stress is different, but sometimes, even in this stress, I feel student life was better.
So yeah, it keeps going by.
Yeah, but yeah, each phase of life has its own experiences, own advantages, disadvantages. It's better to experience everything, I would say. You grow out of it. The transform you.
Fair enough. So one of the interesting things about your journey is the way you articulated your journey.
Yeah, one day Srinath called and was like, "Can you please give your review?" So
This
this
is-
one is pretty much like
This is more like an SOP. We asked for a review. This is
that's what Big Four audit documentation just is.
Okay, take us through right from the horse's mouth. Yeah.
So yeah, when I was writing, let me talk about what I was thinking when I was writing this. Himakant sir generally gives lovely analysis. So, okay, he compares mostly to everything. He relates everything to cricket. So I love the way he used to give analogies. And at that point of time, journey is never a small one, right? This from the stage of planning till the stage of execution and returning back, it takes long period of time. So I thought, okay, if something is long, then the train is very long. So I thought that is the way I thought I'll articulate this. So pretty much I've divided my experience into what I was going through, what was lacking, what happened when I came into HLS, what changed, and how ultimately I ended up succeeding what I wanted.
Right.
So just to give a brief of before HLS, it was mostly, as I stated, I used to struggle in planning. Right, I used to just keep on studying. I mean, I know that I was studying, but then there was no specific target, no deadline, no cutoff. If I take a topic, generally it should, mm you should assign allot only, let's say, 2 hours of time. So, but I'm a perfectionist, so I used to get into the depth of that concept and spend like about 3 to 4 hours, almost double the required time.
Yeah. Mm.
So that problem I couldn't identify before HLS. So because of that, I had to struggle for a year and a half, and it is mentally draining. I mean, you don't want to be in that phase of life for a long period of time.
Mm.
And there are a lot of challenges, lot of thoughts which creep in at home. You'll have to stay at home, right, while you're preparing, so you can't see your parents' face with the same this thing. Even they are helpless, like even they don't want to see that way. So yeah, I got to know about sir from my dad. He recommended me. So he just said, "Ki, why don't you try?" I was like, if nothing is working out from my own side, why not use the help of a external third party? So that's how I started interacting with sir. And once he said, do this, I just did. I didn't question much because I know that, I trusted my mentor and my dad with this process. So I just blindly went with it. But key certain things, like once I got into the process, what I feel a student requires in HLS is, first thing is obedience. Whatever instruction is given, whatever you're asked to do, just try to do. I mean, there might be days where you might not be able to do it. That's fine. But just because you missed a day, you shouldn't, keep taking that habit forward. Try to complete each of the tasks which is assigned to you, be it, the index preparation, be it the day end revision, be it the morning revision, whatever it is. Just make an effort towards that, because all these there's a concept in costing. I don't know if it is still the Kaizen costing, right? The small improvements you make on a daily basis will ultimately help in the main exam. Then you have to be clear in your decision making. There will be a point. I think that point is already crossed, but yeah, for this attempt, there will be a point where you have to decide whether it is group one or group two. But it's better, at the start of the preparation only you decide what is required. Definitely, it's a continuous process. As and when you're completing your subjects and all, you will have to take certain decisions, but you have to be very clear. You have to weigh the pros and cons and be very clear and stick to that decision. You should not keep changing. Then the other thing is discipline. You have to stick to your routine. Once you have decided that this is going to be a routine for the next couple of days, because it is your decision, you should respect your own decision and be disciplined to that. And last but not the least, sir is brutally honest. You can't change that, and that is one thing which I really uh, liked about this mentorship, because you have to know your as a status, right? There must be one person who is, what do I say, pricking you with the needle, saying that no, this is not right, this is not going right. So in this process, there will be people who will be brutally honest to you, not expect spoon feeding and all. We will be there to guide, but ultimate effort and the ultimate credit of the success is on the student only. So I think if these critical factors are there in a student, I don't see why you should not clear the CA panel exams.
Perfect. Now, this has given you a hang of the process in terms of the approach. Now, on the second side, like there's more to the story. As I said, it's SOP. So, in terms of techniques, because Nish, this is one challenge which we always face. They don't adapt to it, no matter how many times you would have noticed it with your cohort also. And ultimately, when the results are out, it's always a correlation. Somebody who would have filled day end revision plus previous day revision for 40, 50 times, they always clear. Because you're not clearing, it's not there. So at least for the next 30 days, if they do it every single day, things will be sorted. They're able to do it, they know the importance of it, they still are not doing it. So I definitely want you to address it and probably check with them.
Yeah. So even let me talk about when I was a student. Even there were days where even I couldn't fill it. Let me be very honest. But I ensured that didn't repeat as an habit. Okay, let's say in a week there might be one day which I had missed, 1 or 2 days. Let it be even continuous. That's fine. But you should have a stop point in that habit. You have to stick to your routine. There, I'm not sure if it is still going on, but magic of mornings, right? Sir generally encourages students to wake up early in the morning around 5 a.m. So there were days where, in order to meet the target, I used to kind of stretch beyond 10 p.m., beyond 11 p.m., which used to affect my next day routine. So once I identified that problem, what is affecting the routine, which I'm not, because of which I'm not able to perform the task. Once I've identified the problem, I've tried to, uh, allow not the problem to come in so that I stick to the routine. Even if I don't complete my targets, to the extent I've completed my target, I complete all the tasks which are assigned to me. So I think that is the one thing which allowed me to push myself forward and clear the exams ultimately. I'm pretty sure even the importance of each and every technique, right? For example, be it 5 time revision, be it box breathing technique. Box breathing technique, it's like an intangible asset, okay? Where the benefits don't generally show at the moment, but it will really help you with your mental peace. It will allow you to stay calm and prepare better for the exams. Second thing I would say is FTR is it's a magic weapon. I really hope that I knew it before, but yeah, better late than never, right? So during the process, I got to know what FTR means, and when I started implementing it, it's more like an addiction, right? Once you start going to the gym, you get addicted to it. That's how this technique is, and it really, when you realize the benefits of FTR is when you write the weekly mock test exam or revision test papers, whatever, every Monday or every Sunday, whichever exam you write. That is where you'll realize the importance of FTR. And coming to EMT, exam mistake tracker, it's like I would say, Bhagavad Gita, right? You have a solution to all the problems. If you know where a person is going to make a mistake already, you will not commit that mistake in the main exam. Um, so even this every week, if you're writing the exams every week, sir will ask you to fill in the exam mistake tracker. So in that exam mistake tracker, every student, if he makes an effort to jot down what he has answered rightly, what went wrong, it's not only helpful for that student but also for the other students in the cohort, right? You're indirectly playing a very crucial role in the success of the other student in the group. So this also becomes a very, very important weapon for you in your main exam. And because of all these techniques and because of hanging in the process, uh, I was able to clear. So my main problem was in my group one. Group two, when we were writing exams, I think pretty much group two was kind of easy compared to group one. But in group one, what issues I was facing was mainly with my audit. Even though I did articleship and audit, exam is different with the practical experience, right? You'll have to retain the technical terms and all. So FR and audit were kind of pulling me down. But from a stage where I used to get only 128, 130 marks, I crossed the 200 mark. So that is where these techniques had really made the change for me.
So Nish, with this, I believe they're going to do it 3 times a day for the next 30 days. In terms of the EMT, Nish, other thing, people are not doing it or they do it very casually. A lot of times the same question comes. Why don't someone else evaluate my paper? It's a constant question. So can you throw some light on it?
So EMT, why doesn't someone evaluate your paper? See, if someone else evaluates your paper, they might, you yourself have the ability to go hard on yourself. Okay, if I think the hidden objective of the CMT is you should be able to identify your own mistake. When you are reading the suggested solution against your own answer, there are two benefits here. One thing, you will identify what you have missed. Second thing, you are reading already what is the expected answer from ICAI. So there are two benefits here. You're already preparing for the main exam by studying what is required, and indirectly you'll not miss out this particular point in this particular concept in the main exam. So these are the two benefits of EMT. EMT tracker should be as detailed as possible, even though half an hour time is given to you to fill the tracker. Take an hour's time. It's okay if you don't take a break after the exam. Take an hour's time. Go as detailed as possible, because as I said, it's not just helpful to you, it's helpful to your students, other students also in the cohort. So you together as a group will be able to succeed if you go detailed in this. And I used to evaluate my paper on a very conservative basis. And once I assign particular marks to my paper, the actual marks generally come around that figure. So that also boosts your confidence. Okay, this is my status right now. I'm getting only 40 on a conservative basis. If I do better in so and so concepts, it will push to 50. And once I say it will push to 50, I get marks around that. So I'm confident about the paper. So that's how it goes with EMT.
This is the exact objective. In terms of this, like 130 to 230 is a huge leap forward. So what specifically was there?
What specifically worked there? For group 2, I would say it was more of the focus block slots, because DT is a very vast subject. DT IDT is a very, very vast subject.
Mhm.
With the help of focus block slot, you don't get stuck to a particular concept or a particular topic. You keep moving forward. With each hour, you keep moving forward. You try to meet your targets. So because I was able, so even in each topic, you get into the core concepts first, and then go to the so-called B category, C category, right?
Mhm.
So because I'm shifting from concept to concept, I'll definitely cover the A category in all the concepts.
Right.
If I have time, definitely I'll go to the B and C in
I
that
see.
particular day. So that is how I was able to focus on all the topics, all the main topics with weightage, which helped me to take that drastic leap. Definitely, I had an exemption in elective paper, but for DT and IDT, this is what really helped me. The FPS helped me. But when coming to group 1, I think it was FTR and EMT which helped me.
Ada has studio. So it's like this is one screenshot, people would always love to get added to. So for them, they have to get here in the next 30 days. What is something which is very, very important about techniques, about involvement, about commitment? So if they do this, it will happen. What is it one thing?
It's more of sticking to your already established routine and obedience to the tasks assigned. I think this is like the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
This is the first time I'm looking at this. It's pretty nice. It feels lovely, seeing the people whom I've studied with along also. I think this is Rishabh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen Suresh also while I was studying. I've seen, I forgot his name. So, Sri also.
He's in Equity, Mumbai. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's really, I know almost everyone in this Hall of Fame. So it's pretty much what I would say. It's a recognition, right?
Yeah.
Who doesn't like to get recognized? I think more importantly, you just have to be obedient and just be disciplined and stick to your routine. Because don't make any last moment changes. That is something which you have to avoid. I think you guys are in safe hands. You guys will do it. That should not be a problem.
And this Suresh has mentioned, he simplified it like maximize your time into preparation so that energy and attention is automatically fixed. Now, for some students, over and above that, they already maximize the time. They're still not able to pay energy and probably attention. Energy is there. So for them, what would you say? Because they still say that my thoughts are distracting me. I'm not able to put in my 100%. So for those set of people, what's your take?
So just try to recollect why you're doing the course, right? If I have to speak about my personal experience, it was difficult looking at my parents. Honestly, for the 1.5 year, it was very tough to look them in their eyes. So that was a constant reminder for me why I was doing what I was doing. So there are definitely days where, thoughts creep in, and I had calls with saying that I'm not able to do this, I'm not able to do that. But just trust that he is there for you, and keep that ultimate objective why you're doing the CA course. For few of you, it is very, very important. For few of you, it's more of a passion, right? just stick to that objective, and I think it'll automatically bring back you to the game. I don't see any other barrier there.
Perfect. Sounds good. And yeah, so if you have to simplify in a single sentence, after clearing CA, how did lives change?
It's more of having time for your own self,
Right. So
rather than
you're liking that.
yeah. You get to do whatever you want. You can explore whatever you want. I started playing cricket. I started playing badminton. I started
Right.
doing gym. So it's in your hands, right? You also have the time to network with a lot of people.
Do everything you want. Basically,
Yeah,
freedom
you
of
can.
action, freedom of thought.
No
Yeah.
one is there to question you. You can do whatever you want.
Okay, like that freedom. Good. Next, apart from the techniques which you apply to crack exams, what are the general learnings from Himlife School which you're able to apply in career and life and such?
So sometimes I do this box breathing techniques.
Okay.
Definitely when I'm working, there are moments where it is very mentally draining. So just trying to calm down and not getting worked up is something which is helping me currently. Other techniques will be helpful in the future eventually. I'll probably pursue further studies and
Okay, want to apply the techniques and
yeah.
further steps. Fair enough. And the classic question?
Oh, definitely. In fact, even while I was preparing and even after qualifying, I had encouraged and motivated my juniors who were currently doing articleship, and one of them had cleared it already. So yeah, because I have already seen the benefits of the process, obviously subject to all those critical things which I said a student should have. If that student is having that, then definitely this mentorship is going to help the student.
And your thoughts on offline?
Offline mentorship, you can no longer take your, you no longer have the freedom to take breaks on your own. you're, you're monitored on a hourly or a half hourly basis. So literally, there's a CCTV camera on you right now.
It's going to be happening literally. CCTV will be there.
You've basically lost the freedom. So, so yeah, because of this, I think even if you don't want to, even if your attention is moving away for some time, looking at other students study and considering that there's someone monitoring you, you automatically get back to the game in a very quick time. Generally, if it is an online mentorship, it takes time to come back. Because no one is monitoring you on a constant basis. But yeah, offline, I think it's more of a personal attention. And you have your cohort students with you. You can do a group study or group discussion for that matter, which will help you retain better. I think there are a lot of benefits with offline mentorship. And that's why students generally prefer to go to classes physically rather than.
Even, okay, that's an interesting dimension. So just like physical mentorship.
Yes.
Fair enough. There's one thing which I thought of talking about, but then I didn't. So basically, I kind of find it very hard to process. I still miss him. So since you said I'm brutally honest, I wanted you to help us clearly understand how you're processing this. So Ganesh sir is my mentor, and he's one of the instrumental reasons because he was there much before HLS came into existence. Right from him talks, like he was my mentor, and I think I interacted more with him than you actually. So now it's been a while now. So how did you process this, and how are you still doing it?
Processing is not yet complete, sir. I would say it's more of a distraction I'm looking for. On a daily basis, I'm trying to get distracted. But then, yeah, whichever place I go, he has already been there, right? So it's kind of difficult. Every day is kind of something or the other, brings me back to a memory which I had with him. So definitely, it's I would say added responsibility and duty which I have at home.
Right.
And there are people who are supporting me with that also. Work wise, they've literally told me to, if I have 10 tasks at hand, just hive off 8, focus more at home. So I have people like that already in the office.
Right.
There was a time where I wanted to quit also. It was just 2-3 weeks ago. But then yeah, this is currently helping me. I'm able to give time at home also. So he was a person, used to handle multiple things single-handedly, right? He is more of a process-oriented person where he establishes the process already and things keep going on, even if he doesn't involve on a daily basis. So it's miles away. I still have lot to do to reach there.
That is huge.
So he's like that supercomputer, he had a lot of data, a lot of processing power to handle multiple things. I am still growing up, so it takes time. So it's definitely not yet processed. Looks like he's still on an international level.
It still is. Because then Suresh asked me, what changes did you notice? For Suresh, I'll get back to him. But with you, you've become super responsible. Like, this is the reason why I'm proud of my students. To be frank, I don't even care about the qualification. Like, because I should have a context. Why should I spend some time with you for the parents and students? There has to be a qualification. But the real life journey is very different. There are no techniques for that. There are no frameworks for handling life. But then, right from the day when we got to know and until now, the way you're taking care of it, the way you stepped in, the way you stepped up, that is something. I did have separate conversations with your sister regarding how you are doing things. Everywhere you are exceeding expectations. I'm sure is very, very, very proud, and probably that's the reason why he went on that international trip. Now that he knows that
Yeah.
you guys are taking care. So
But how was your journey, sir, from that date?
one, I always used to say, Nish is my super student, the best student. From there, in that instant, when I get to know, one thing which changes like Nish's family. So his family, that's it. So and with him, I kind of check his text. Like I keep texting, I do all of that. And you use the word distraction. The more I think about him, it's like you said, right? He's everywhere. I open a presentation, one comment other is there. I open a set of videos, it's there. In every playlist is there. In every freaking playlist is there because he's the one who attended Mom the highest number of times. So it's hard for me, but I think it's a clear cut message. Basically, we were relying on in a way we are like
There was
whenever
a lot
something
of
happens.
dependency.
Absolutely. Even for me, so when I had to take decisions, very important decisions, I would always knock the Deloitte door and I check on them, and it was always there. So that conversation, results day conversation at Antera,
Yeah.
it was hard. Like you are done now. It was my turn to take the brunt. So from there, I understood. Okay, there's a vacuum to fill. I think he has done enough, right? The question is, if somebody has to do X in 30 years, 40 years, no, this guy did everything in, let's say, 20 years. And then, he wanted that freedom probably. Because if you look at it, there are other dimensions of life apart from, when it's studying, there is only one dimension. But then, once you qualify, there are other dimensions in terms of life. Now, beyond life, there are other dimensions, probably exploring it in spirituality and afterlife. I don't know.
It probably is training trainers.
So, it started making sense, Nish. Basically, it started making sense. It conveyed a deep message. And I started implementing what he told me on the Tantra day. Like, don't, because I was tolerating bullshit. I was tolerating bullshit. No, it's like there was one instance where a student, an online student, he didn't do anything and he called us and he said, if you don't refund the money, I'll write a Google review. Now, it's like, if I write a review, it will be fucked up. The question is, it won't change anything for an education institution. Bad reviews are okay or fine, negative reviews are fine, and we always have a basis of what happens. But then, looking at how the education system has worked, it's not about me, it's not about the student. Like, if somebody is threatening the teacher with that kind of attitude and mentality, clearly not doing anything. Now, if you're into that education space, you have to take a stand. Like one thing which I like about Mr. Ganesh is always takes stands.
Yeah.
Like when something happens, he takes a clear-cut stand, even where places people hesitate. In fact, I'll tell you one simple thing: a lot of people would not like to do anything beyond what they're doing.
Yeah, comfort zone.
Comfort zone. No, he was always open. He was always brutally honest. Like that's one
And it's
thing.
more of clarity in decision making.
Absolutely, absolutely. So there are many spaces where I was a bit hesitant and all of that. Now most of the time I was like, okay, if he has to do this, how would I do this? How would I do this? How would I do this? That day, my sister said, right, if my dad had to do this, this is how it has to be done, and this is the expectation. So it's becoming a reference more often than before.
Yeah.
Earlier, it was different. Now then, okay, this is the case. Now, even when you have to move to offline, even when you have to take certain calls, it is clearly there. So that way, I feel more connected. Nish. I feel more connected, MR, with you. So yeah, it is always there.
Yeah, one
Watching
thing
us.
for all the students is, why it's better to struggle, in these coming days, because those smiles which you see on the screen are just worth it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
They are just not for a picture. I mean, they are genuine, happy smile, right? So I think for such pictures, you have to
Yeah, that
work, at least
one
work
picture
towards it.
is
Yeah, at least
that,
for
that
this one picture, if
yeah,
you put the effort for the next 30, 45 days,
yeah,
I think you're there.
yeah. Even for me, the whole of the 15,000 hours, when we looked at people question me, why did you put that? This one picture is worth it. Nash. Like when you're becoming a part of a family of a Deloitte partner, where people like everyone in your dad's circle spend at least 10 years with him. Right?
Yes.
Very deep and long relationships. Now that day when I got that platform to be a part of his family, it's incredible. So this same that one picture is worth everything. And in fact, a lot of people spoke about it. Now we are also conscious about what we have to do for our parents. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that way, yeah, he made the whole ecosystem a lot more serious, and students have become a lot more sincere. That way, we owe to him. And yeah, we are planning an offline meet Nish this July 22nd with with some of our super students and parents. And that day, we'll have to give him the right tribute, like that. Have something to do for him. But yeah, so for now, he's not missed.
Yeah.
He's integrated. So that's
Yeah.
right. So I'm not sure if I had to ask it, but then I thought it's important. So this the way you're handling it, I'm super honest. So this is also the reason why I don't miss it. So yeah, we'll talk more about it.
Yes.
So I really appreciated your thoughts and the way you're processing it. So we have a lot of work to do, a lot of work, long and huge shoes, long and huge shoes, never ending. They keep growing all the time. So that way, yes. I'll get back to you, Nish.
Yeah.
So, Tejan. So we have Sai Teja Marekuli. No. One interesting thing is you have this TV interview, but I don't have a 2-minute video. So that's the context. Anyways, you're the one guy who used this thing called X Factor. Like, can you take us through, you know, what made you write it? Like just like the way Nish did. What was your state of mind when you mentioned it, and what exactly you implied?
So that day I remember like
You have to be louder, there. You have it.
that day I remember like you called me and asked to share my experience. I was trying to record a video for it. I recorded like at least 30-40 times, but I didn't feel like
This is
was
not the right-
sharing. So I asked for some better alternatives. So what can I do? What else can I do? Then you asked me to write a review. That's where I started writing it. And whenever I think something, I try to think in a structured way.
Mhm.
Why then again went back to structure what happened with me. What are the factors you need to pass this exam? Then I differentiated between two factors. One is X and one is Y. That's how I made this equation.
So this is clear. Subject is clear. For them, if they have to understand Y and X, to simplify it for them. Like they have to identify what is X, what is Y. We'll do it shortly, but those who are trying to understand for the very first time, what is X, what is Y?
See, for a CA exam, be it at any level, you need subjects at the first place. very basic thing. And the why factor is where you have that niche, you have that USP, your uniqueness, you are good at something. That is your why factor. That's your strength. Basically, to keep it in simple terms, why factor is your strength, which in whichever you are good at. People may be good at writing answers. They might not have a good memory, but when they go for writing, putting it on paper, they put better presentation, they give answers better than what they remember. It happens. And that is Y factor. And X factor is like, even after having everything, you have subject expertise, you have your strengths and weakness, you have everything. You need something else to pass the exam. It is not like you randomly pick a book every day, study whatever you want, and then don't go back to revise it. You try to revise the same topic again after 2 3 months. You don't remember anything. You start reading it again. That doesn't happen that way. This need to be happen in like a structured way. There should be some system in place to pass. Without that, you might be passing the exam, but it would take lot many attempts. And if you're lucky, you will be passing in few attempts. If you're not lucky, you will keep attempting, but you will miss that. You will miss something which keeps stopping you from passing the exam. That is X factor. And to figure it out, few people might figure that in the early stages before writing the first attempt itself, they might figure out, they implement things. There will be people who will not figure it out in their entire life. You might seek their mentors who help them. If you would go to the seniors, they help them with this. That's X factor. And then again, despite doing everything, you also need the blessings of Almighty, or luck you call it.
Good, very well articulated. Great. There's one more thing. I would say we had a lot of conversations before I figured out the X factor. A lot of students don't open up, whether it's offline or online, they don't open up. So they feel that they're not comfortable or it's too personal or whatever. So, but certain people who do not open up, what should we do? Because for me, only when someone is comfortable, I can do something about it. Otherwise, I don't want to cross the boundary and would like to know more about them. So for them, how should they approach if they're not very comfortable? What should they do to help others identify what is lacking in them?
You see, without knowing a problem, you can't see, you can't answer 1A in your exam without knowing what the 1A question is.
Yeah.
As simple as it. No one can help you without knowing the where the trouble point is. So again, confidentiality is guaranteed. I know that because I have shared my personal things. Like it's been almost more than a 3 4 years journey with Himakant sir. He knows like what happened all through these years with me. I'm pretty sure he has not shared it with anyone else. I'm very pretty sure about it. Only my parents and Himakant sir know about what happened all throughout these years, and he helped me out with it. He told, "Okay, you are doing this. Do this, you should be doing this. This might be working." So simply putting this, please share whatever you feel like. It might be silly for you, but it is not good keeping it for yourself. Once you share it with someone, be it mentor or at least share with your parents who could help with it. Okay, once you share it, you will get a solution instead of you continuously thinking in a loop. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Rather, put it for someone else to help for you. Okay, that would be making your life easy, I would say.
Perfect. Good way to go. So these are regarding this because both of them have different answers. Now, according to you, in the next, I would say 5 weeks, 6 weeks, what is the most important factor out of this, and how do they make sure it gets utilized properly?
Okay, time again. I don't think I need to put much stress on it. You will talk to anyone else. Anyone, go out, talk to anyone who values his life or has done something or is doing something in his life. Ask him how important is time. He will tell you. any random person whom you think is doing good in life, ask him, he will tell you the worth of time. Okay, so do not waste it. Do not, I would say, rather thinking about something else, do it. Okay, if you want to, if you're worrying about your weakest subject, stop worrying about it. Start reading that subject. Okay, just put in action. Focus more on your actions rather than worrying. Worrying would waste your time like hell. Okay, you would go in a loop with no results coming out. So the best thing to make utilize of your time is just keep doing whatever you're asked to do in the schedule, or whatever is expected. Just keep doing, which would yield results. Okay, energy again, energy in physical sense. Please take care of your health, good food, good sleep, and good surroundings again. Okay, the people, I hope everyone is in good places, be it with your family or friends. Make sure the environment is positive. If you feel something is negative, if you can do it in a quick way to get it to positive, do it, or else eliminate that negative element. Just put it beside for like at least the next coming days for tele exam. Okay, uh, keep everything as positive as possible till the last day of your exam, and do whatever you want on after giving your last exam. Okay, no one would be stopping you. For attention again, attention, without attention you can't do anything. Okay, if you're putting your book in front of you, thinking that you are studying, and you have good food, you wake up early, put book in front of you, open it, and just don't studying it. Or if you are just reading it without paying attention on sinking it into your brain, it's you're wasting your time and energy again. You can only see the results when time, energy, and attention are all played in synergy. Okay, they are not like single elements. You have plenty of time, but no energy and attention. I'll give you 1 year of time with like your health would not be well, and you are not attention paying person. Though you have 1 year of time, you would not be doing anything. Okay, again, you have hell lot of energy. There is no time. You don't pay attention, nothing would happen. You pay attention and you don't have time and energy, nothing would happen. They all three are the main factors, and when played in synergy only would be resulting in positive results.
And Teja, after clearing CM, many things would have happened. So if you have to summarize and simplify, what is the biggest change?
Okay. I'll bust this myth. You might be hearing since childhood, like when you are in school days, the parents would be telling, study till 10th standard, get some 10 points, you will be sorted for life. And then immediately when the results comes on for your SSC or 10th class, they ask you to study well for the next 2 years. You will be placed in a IIT or IA, some good bachelor's college. Then you are sorted. Once you are get into bachelor's degree, they ask you to focus on studies, get a good job. And once you're in your first job, again it's a loop. Like your expectations rise. You want to go for something better. This would never end. This would never end. But the freedom would alter to a different level once you clear CA. Okay. Pick anyone, your financial aspect would be better. You would be better financially. Like you would be having I give a guarantee like you would be sorted for your daily recurring expenses and your few sort of luxuries as well. Okay, if you want to go for a trip,
And like if you lose your bike, then buy a new bike.
yeah, this happened with me. See, in September 2023, I lost my favorite, like that's my gift from my mom for passing my IPCC exams long back to that's the bike I used to attend all my classes. It had like huge sentimental value. I lost that bike. I sat for like 1 week, saw what the police can do. Once I seeing that okay, police would not be helping. The probability is very low to get back my bike. I immediately the next day morning I went on to book a new bike. That's the level of financial freedom you would be getting. Okay. And again, the choices you can make is big. Once you clear CA, you have the choice of moving to practice. You have the choice to go to CA practice job, or you can have a choice of moving abroad and pursuing your MBA or anything else. You can move to IIMs. So the choices are like huge. That's the benefit of clearing CA. I would not be like again. I would not say you would be sorted for life, but the challenges would be there. But the better quality challenges. They are not like waking up morning and picking up the book. That would be challenge for you now, but that would not be a challenge after completing your CA. Challenges would be better. You would not be stuck with boring subjects. You could pick your own interest. Like if you want to pursue, if you think that DT is your favorite subject and you have your interest in income tax, you can pursue that as a career. See, you would be enjoying that way, right? That's the point in clearing CA. If you think that clearing CA would be like only solution for my life, and if I do that, there would be no problems at all in my life coming ahead. That's not the case, but it would be a good.
So it's definitely not like clearing 10th at 12th. It's really true that.
Definitely not. People would say, see, everyone is different. It might be as easy as 10th standard for.
No, my question is more about like when parents say after 12th they are sorted, but after CA are reasonable sorted, right?
Reasonable sort. That is that. That is see, it is not like you don't have to listen to your parents in a way once you are qualified CA. That's a difference I can make. Okay, once you're passing
I'll
plus
share this to your mom.
no. Once you're done with 10th standard or plus two, you still are kids for your parents. But once you qualified CA, you're no more kids.
No, he was a kid. I'll tell you why I took Teja. Like we were sitting in Panjagoda office. That was the first time parents came to office. Until then, we never had offline. But then his mom wanted to talk to us, and we welcomed them. She said two things. One, my son has failed a couple of times, maybe, but I really trust him. Two, I saw your videos. I saw the way you operate. I really trust you. So if you're working together, you will clear. So she declared it and she left. So she's a super mom in that perspective. I'm sure we would not have, got together without your mom. That's for sure. This guy is not easy to manage. Now, Nish is a good boy. Tera is not. So
Yeah.
you have to remember.
I'm definitely not a good guy. And again, I would say, with more stress, I would say like if I am able to come all the way and pass CA, do a job or do whatever I want, everyone else can do it. If I am doing it, I have passed CA final, anyone else can do it.
If you can buy 2 bikes, everyone can buy 3 bikes. The most interesting part was I got a call that day from him. Matlab, we normally don't call each other much unless there is something important. So the day he was like, I need to know what you did with your bike when you lost it. So when I thought about it, I literally, till date, the highest level of contacts I have used is to find my bike. I used a senior IAS officer and IPS officer to get that, and that can't be replicated because he said this is the last favor of your life. Like nobody asked, people ask me for factory sanctions, they're asking for advice recovery. So it is almost impossible for me to replicate also because you're stuck. Because the reason is if you lose your car, you'll get it, Teja. Because for someone to act upon it, there has to be bandwidth. Let's say for the police people to work upon it, they look at the value, how much. Definitely. So all of that. So that way, I literally slept in the police station for a week, looking at all traffic cameras and all. And there are a lot of things placed where I got an opportunity to cover certain cameras myself, and then talk to a senior bureaucrat, and then got connected, who gave us the freedom to investigate. And I was completely involved in the police team. And as I said, I literally left everything. I literally left everything in my life, and then I sit on it. So I didn't have a framework to repeat it or replicate it. I hope you understood that in a week. But then it's good that you bought it so that you don't miss it. So
I still would say I miss it. If someone brings the same bike back to me with 10x value, I would still buy it on spot.
Now this is interesting. Now this is interesting, so we can search for it on a new bike.
I'll
It's not an
definitely buy
interest.
it. It has like huge sentimental value.
Absolutely. Because, when I was doing it, there were other people who joined the campaign. As I said, we ran it. More than 10 lakh people in India know the Erasmus bike. So others want to know about it. I said, is your budget more than the cost of the bike? That is exactly what it takes to get it back, actually. But it's good that you still have that feeling. So
I see. I would say Himakant sir was lucky that he lost his bike in Panjagutta. I'm pretty sure if he lost in my hometown where I lost the bike, there are pretty less chances he would get it back because there are like
So
very few
if,
CC cameras.
at some point of time, if I have nothing to do in life, I'll try to find your bike. This is a challenge. So let's see. This is nice. Yeah, and talking about this, apart from your exams, your techniques, and X factor, Y factor. So in your general life, what are the 3 or 4 things which you're able to apply?
So my thought process became more structured.
Hmm.
See, that's the difference you'll find between a professional guy and random people.
Right.
The difference comes in the thought process, how people process something. And once you learn that how to process things in a clear way and you make the thought process structured, life becomes easy for you. And life will definitely become easy.
Thought process, yeah, that's important. Structured thought process, yes, you're right about it. And this,
So when you are not able to do something by yourself, better take some help. That's the only thing I could say.
straight and
See,
simple, do
straight and
it or
simple.
else take the
If your
help.
bike is punctured, you check if you have the kit at home and you can refer to few YouTube videos and do it yourself. Give a try. If you're not able to do it, go to the shop. Go get it done.
Makes sense. And this,
See, there's a clear difference in things doing offline and online. Okay, if you meet someone, see, if you have met someone, if you have, say, if you have found a connection on Instagram or somewhere, and you had a chat on it, you could be chatting like 24/7, but when you meet them for the first time in a coffee shop, that's totally different. The vibe, there is no vibe in online, I would say. Offline vibe is completely different.
so what he's trying to tell you is, if you find someone on Instagram, don't stop there, take your bike and go and get them in the shop. Makes sense. That's why he misses his bike. And regarding this particular question, I'll tell you straightforward. There is no life before clearing CA, making it simple. Means what would you have done? Go to school, go to +2, and then probably articleship, and then life wouldn't have happened before CA for sure. Because see, for me, I at least had the dimension of that inner reflection, thanks to yoga, spirituality, and all. I had a different inner life, but then external life in terms of the freedom, in terms of freedom of action. And I say one is freedom of thought and also freedom of action. Now, freedom of thought also improves after a clear CA because you'll have less pressure from external people. You have more freedom, and freedom comes in. You'll understand what you truly want. So that way, you have to start your life. I'll straight say it in a simple way. So there's no life before CA, except the internal dimension. If you're put in work, if you're not, there's nothing. It's a very plain, vanilla blanket. Like the experience of life is nothing. So you have to come and check. It's like you are looking at life from the mountain bottom. Now get onto the top of the mountain and then understand life and define life, describe life. So that is exactly what is happening. And this year we're very clear about it. We are going very bold with it. Teja. Basically, earlier we had limited attributes in terms of living a life, but for all our super students, one of the reasons why I wanted to meet you today is we are redefining the career paths. We are redefining what has to happen after life, and we have to live a life larger than life. Once you clear CA, it's not about clearing CA. Once you hit a particular milestone, this is the starting point. This is not ending point. A lot of people think, as I said, it ends there. No, that is not how it is. This is the starting point. And from here onwards, for the next attempt, I don't even have to answer this question. If they look into the life of any super student, they'll know that it's worth it. So that is exactly how we're taking it into. So guys, I hope you got good amount of clarity in terms of understanding how things have to happen. So this is from this side, and there is more to it. Now we'll just think of a very good place. We'll go out in half an hour. We'll hang out. So think. We'll decide a place. Probably we'll give you insights from the place also. We're having a deep and long discussion. Much before that, I'll start the conversation from your context. Now, this is I hope all of you are able to see on the screen. See the screen. They'll come closer. Like you guys can also get your chairs. This is the screen. Is it visible, guys? Can I get a confirmation? Guys, what I'm speaking right now, it's very profound for two reasons. One, we're recording this, and most importantly, it's streaming online. I'm saying this in front of my super students who have already cleared, in front of students who are about to clear. This is the first time any institute in the world is doing it. I'm showing a set of people. I'm showing a set of people much in advance, saying that these guys are going to clear. Now this is futuristic. Now this is past, right? These guys are cleared and we are going back. Now looking forward. Now what would happen in any institute across the world? You pay a premium. If you talk about something like Harvard, you'll pay a couple of crores, probably if you get a scholarship, 1.5 crore for a year or so. Like the Ivy League institutions all across the world are on the higher side of a crore for 1 year. In India, as I said, ISB is a good referencing benchmark where you pay 50 lakhs. Now, the reason why I'm talking about numbers is it's not about money, it terms of the value proposition. Like instead of buying a house, why is somebody investing in a degree? Because house, the value is stagnated. You buy a house for 1 crore this year, after 10 years, it might become double, or in Hyderabad, it's slightly faster, depending on where you buy. But in terms of qualification, if you invest that 1 crore in your qualification, you'll make that 1 crore the next year itself. Within 1 year, you'll make it. That is the reason people are not foolish to invest crores in lakhs in education institutions. Now, when we looked at the educational curriculum, all the top 100 institutions are outside India. Most of them, 97% of the institutes are outside India, especially in the management segment, saving a few IIMs and ISB. Less than 10 institutes are in India are popular if you look at the top 250 institutes across the world. This is a problem for me because in India, we started with the likes of Nalanda University, Takshashila University. Go and research on this. Nalanda University, Takshashila University. People all across the world used to come and study in these universities. We had education in the 2nd and 3rd century. Now, in the next 20 to 30 years, I'm not giving myself a 2 to 3 year time frame, 20, 30 years. I definitely want people to come to India and study, probably in HLS or some other institution, but I want to contribute to Indian education. When I say education, it includes everything. Like I'm not talking about studies, I'm not talking about grades, I'm talking about education, life as such. People has to come back to India to study. So that way I want to position HLS in a place where somebody would definitely want to spend 1 year of their life with us. 1 year. Definitely want to, because life before and after HLS is how it is going to define. So in that dimension, one of the important things in India right now is a qualification. 5 years down the line, the focus is on skills. I'll prepare a matrix like this for skills. Structured thinking, Harinath Reddy is only at 30% in terms of structured thinking has to improve. Probably I'll focus on that structured thinking. Now, skills are very hard to define, but after a point, you definitely have to work upon them without the need for a qualification. Now, at this junction, 2024, especially in the month of March, I don't have a choice to completely dismiss away a qualification. And second thing, I'm solving an important problem in your life. It's not about CA. You invested 5 to 6 years into something, some of you more, invested something into this academic aspect. So it is important to bring it to a conclusion. If I'm not bringing it to a conclusion, what will happen is you'll get stuck and your life won't start. So I'm solving the most important problem of your life, not just clearing CA. Incidentally, it is clearing CA, but I'm solving the most important problem of your life. So that is the reason why we are very specific about how we do it. And I already told you, we never solve cheap problems. When it's a cheap problem, if you're not paying enough attention into it, if you're not considering it as the most important problem, it's a cheap problem. it should be the most important problem of your life and the most urgent problem of your life. Now, with this context, these are the set of people whom we are currently taking responsibility. There are two things. One is called Pass Guarantee Program, where we are willing to take the complete responsibility of that. Like we never had this. Earlier, it was one last attempt. And it's a one last attempt. This is the framework. So we are using the same framework for this two. One is PGP, where we are taking 100% responsibility, and the other one is core improvement, which is online. So you're moving from point A to point B. So where we are taking reasonable responsibility, but not complete responsibility because we don't have complete control. This is the context. Now, for the Pass Guarantee Program, the ideal conditions are three. One is you should spend 100 days offline with us. Now, in this attempt, very few people are actually doing it. So, but then we're still pushing ourselves. We're still pushing ourselves to actually go and see if we can do it in lesser time, because some of you just came in hardly 30 days, 35 days, and some of you still want to come and all of that. So this time, even if it is less than 100, we're trying hard. But having said that, our result guarantee is coming from effort guarantee. We focus on putting in guaranteed effort so that results will happen, because results we cannot come. It's a fallacy. Nobody can guarantee results. But the point is, we guarantee efforts to such an extent that results will automatically happen. And PDR plus MDR plus day and revision, 60 days they have to fill. So all the three in a single day for 60 days. If they fill it, yes, the guarantee is applicable. And EMT, they have to submit at least 30 times or verify. If they do this, the guarantee, we can literally give a bond to you. This is exactly what we are looking forward to, and you will be part of this. Now, currently as it stands, I'll quickly give you a context of this. Hari, he's writing his final both groups. This time we have 5 papers. The law and, as you know, SCMP is pushed away. So group 1, you have accounting, financial management and audit. Group 2, DT, IDT and IBS. IBS is like a 6F. Multidisciplinary case study, something like that. It's closer to that. So Hari already has an exemption in this 6th paper. So he has 5 papers. So he has to score 250 technically. Currently, he's around 200. If you write the exam today, he's around 200. Now, once he has an exemption in his 6th paper, 5 papers. He has to score 250. Currently, he's around 190. If I have to be realistic. Kushal is writing inter both groups 6 papers. So currently, out of 300, he's around 200. Now, he has to improve certain things. Prasad, for him, the biggest problem is language. Like he studies hard, but he's from a vernacular background. So for him, he finds it a bit hard to convert his thoughts into Angrezi. English problem is there. And there are other things which has to be fixed. Out of 150, he's in the range of 85 to 90 currently. Money, he has already cleared his group 1 in Inter. So Inter, what happened is they split advanced accounting, the combined advanced accounting single paper. So this time he has only 2 papers, 3 subjects. Like one is auditing 100 marks, FMSM. So out of 100, he is in the range of 65, 70 currently. Manju, she has scored around 330 in the last attempt, CFI. Now, she has started the preparation very late. It's hardly been a week. There are other things in her life which are happening. So currently, she is still in the range of 30-35 each paper. She has good potential, but a lot of work has to be done. So she's writing both groups. Mitra, like she has only 1 group, and Mitra has done a lot of core work. Like she has come in directly from Chennai. So that way she has an advantage of working in terms of frameworks. Like I'll show you that. She has done very well. So out of 150, I would place her in 120. She's in a reasonable safe state. But again, FR, a lot of work is done. A lot has to be done. Dikshita, inter both groups. When she started with a low base. But the best advantage which she has is she's picking up very fast. She's not yet there, but she's improving very fast. So that is one advantage which she has. Currently 200 by 300. Anshu is from Kerala, so she was earlier studying online. When she came offline, a lot of things came out. Like her learning process is very faulty. So she's actually preparing from a completely memory-based perspective. So she took multiple attempts in Inter, and her position is not so safe. But we definitely have to figure out a way, because otherwise it will be hard for her. She wants to write both the groups. Again, the biggest problem for her is the learning process. It's very flawed. We are working on it, but a lot of work is pending. Prachi is writing her group 2. She's from Mumbai. She'll be flying in here after a week or so. So for her, the challenge is less time. We have only 1 month. We'll have to figure out a way to help her crack her papers. And Alvin, Anurag, Twinkle, Prasanna, Harsha are online students. Like the reason why this time we wanted to completely remove online, but we honestly wanted to see if there is a mechanism where we can support online students also. Because offline, we can only pay attention to limited set of people. It is expensive for both. Right now, this my home Navadipa where you're staying, we took a flat like this for some girls here. Now, the fundamental maintenance itself is 120K. Let's say 3 people are living 40K maintenance per month. Now, why are we doing it? If you look at the overall value of an attempt, as we always say, if you lose 1 year, it's an opportunity cost of 10 to 12 lakhs. In that perspective, it is making sense, but otherwise, it's very expensive. So, we always would like to make it affordable for a lot of people. That way, for a limited set of people, we're working on it. So, Alvin has got 5 papers. I would say out of 250 is in the range of 180. Anurag, the problem with him is he's not yet sorted. Matlab, his mindset and routine is not yet fixed. He's all over the place. So he's willing to come offline for next setup. For now, we want to see what best can happen for his group 2. If he studies well, he can study, but then he's not having a very stable mindset and routine on a regular basis. Twinkle, again, just like Anshu, her learning process is very unstructured. She takes a lot of time to learn, 3x time of what she normally takes. So that's the reason why, in case if she's not able to handle both, we'll have to shift her to group 1, the same like Anshu. But if there is a possibility, we definitely want her to push and help her clear this. Now, Prasanna is having only 1 book. This guy is doing fine. So out of 150, I would put him in the range of 120, just like Mitra. Both Mitra and Prasanna are doing fine. And Harsha, she's our online student, and for her, she has a lot of issues linked to her mindset. She's a smart girl, but then her thoughts keep fluctuating. And currently, for Harsha or Anurag or Twinkle, we're not able to do more because of the restriction in terms of online. Since we are living in different states, we can only do so much. I'm not able to find the X factor there. That is the problem. The X factor is not, it's not evident. We are trying out certain things, but it's not very clearly evident. So this is the thing. Now, the reason why I want to involve is, number one, at a fundamental level, I'll give you detailed breakup of their EMT submissions. Like there are 2-3 ways of understanding them. One is EMT submissions. The other one is day-end revision submissions, and the other one is PDR submission. So all of them are submitted 25 to 30 times. So we'll go check each and every response, and we'll see. Because if you see, this is a beautiful, I would say, research culmination of 3,200 responses. Since no one in India has 3,200 different responses in terms of how they're preparing on a daily basis. And even exam mistake tracker, we have without 870 we have at least 1,000 or 2,000 mistakes, which are getting, will create frameworks in this manner. So that way, at a primary level, for all the PGP students, for all these 10 people, I want to attach one of you where you're taking complete responsibility. Because last time I said you also had reasonable responsibility. This time, okay, Teja, you're taking care of person X or person Y. It is your headache, not my headache. Now, next time onwards, one study buddy is one experiment which we did. It is working. Sometimes it's not working because unless somebody is sorted, they may not be able to contribute to the other person. But here, mentor is of a different capacity because you know the journey entire. Study buddy, they don't know the journey completely. They're only at a peer-to-peer level of helping. So this is what we're doing. So one will explore this set of people completely, understand their overall preparation level. So we'll do that entirely. And then we'll attach one person each. That is the absolute responsibility. And apart from that, you'll be taking care of one subject. Like we have 6 papers, like where you have a general responsibility. We'll look into the time and everything. So this, we are moving from counseling to consulting. When I say consulting, we want to operate like McKinsey. Now what does that do? 3-month program that charge $1 million and they'll solve the problem. Now we are also looking at 3-month assignments we're doing. So every student who walks into Hyderabad will be attached with a mentor on day 1. Okay, you are available. So this is, we are doing personality mapping also. There are certain psychological traits with people, how people get connected to different set of people. So that way, and I've done one assignment where I spent 2 months with a single student. So I shared you Radha's mother's testimony and all of that, right? So I stayed at her home for 1 month. She stayed at her home for 1 month. So that was where we understood that it's literally impossible to fail when you do that kind of effort. So that is one. At this level, we are doing it for individual students. The next, we'll do it with firms. There are a lot of small and medium-sized firms who are not able to grow out of their regular system. So we'll solve the problem for firms. Audit firms will define their clientele, will define their branding. So we'll sit for each audit firm for 3 months. We'll charge X. We'll directly talk about revenue. You are operating at 100. We'll take it to 120. Probably we'll charge 2 out of this. So something like that. So this way, with all my super students, we'll start working. Now, one at an immediate level, and then as I said, full time. Like we definitely want to hire some of our students. That will become an ecosystem, both in terms of helping students clear their exams. This is one thing which will help our broaden our network at the base level. Because if we were not connected that way, it wouldn't happen, right? It becomes very superficial. We definitely want a set of people we connect deeply. And two, in terms of the consulting, we'll have to go and have a real world experience. In this process, we can pick up other dimensions like coaching, teaching, everything. Next time onwards, subjects also we are giving material, we are taking everything is here. They'll come, we'll charge X for clearing foundation, inter, final. And we're also offering long-term programs. Some of them are already there. That's a Dikshita, Radha, Kushal, Mani. They're going to spend 3 years with us. They're already here with that. So you'll meet all of them in different contexts. But this is what we have for them right now. So guys, I hope all of you understood the context. So this is an initial meeting. We are going to spend some time now. We'll all spend some time now. So from your perspective, you have to clearly think through 2 or 3 things. One, do the color coding sheet properly. I have sent sheets to some of you. Others also check with Srinath and get your color coding sheets. Open the book, solve 1 or 2 questions, and then decide whether you know a chapter or not. So this is exactly how the color coding has to be done. So tomorrow when you're coming, be very clear with the color coding sheet and focus on 3 problems which have to be solved. Think through what are the problems you are having right now. Clearly focus on the top 3 problems which has to be solved. We'll solve. See, once a problem comes to our table, we are like expert surgeons. Will solve any problem. The only question is, are you letting us know or not? Are you telling us what exactly is the problem or not? So this is something which we are looking at. Okay. So this is exactly how we are going to operate. So what I'll currently do is probably we'll pick up one of the case studies. Mitra, you can come to Teja now. Mitra and Manju, both of you can come. Ask Manju. Also get your, I would say, answer sheets. For audit, you wrote that, no? So get your answer sheets. Mitra and Manju can come in 5 to 10 minutes. Come to Teja. Okay. Meanwhile, we'll continue on. Yeah. So every day we'll be picking up certain case studies. For now, let me share the screen again. Or probably for now, I just want to continue the discussion. So one thing which we have to establish next right now is defining the scope of what we need to do. So next 40 days, what should be the scope? Should we still go and complete some syllabus? Because they're not yet done with the syllabus for 1-2 papers. So should we go and complete the syllabus also, or should we stick to revision and writing practice? What are your thoughts?
It depends. If they're giving their first attempt or they've already done at least one revision before. If they are newcomers, there is no point directly jumping into writing answers. It will still help, but not guaranteed. So if they have written their exam already and it's their second time or third time, it would definitely make sense to directly jump into revisions.
Okay. Hari, unmute yourself. So Hari is our offline student who is currently at Manjagutta. So Hari, to begin with, take us to a subject-wise status. All the 5 papers. Where do you think you are? Just take us through that.
Can you repeat the question again, sir?
Take us through your subject-wise status. FR, where are you? AFM, where are you? Just pick.
So in FR, around I'm at 50 marks at this level.
You have to be louder and clear. Be a little
Okay.
bit louder. Yeah.
In FR, I completed I would say the A grade standards. Firstly, there are still some 15 standards left, which were very small, and one is big one, financial instruments. At this stage, I wrote around 3 exams in FR, which are cumulative ones. I got around 47, 50. as per my evaluation, because just because I was able to recall the things which I study earlier, which I do not study this time. In AFM, I've completed around mostly 90% of the syllabus. Only one thing is left is the advanced capital budgeting, which is the new concept they have added. That is pending. In that, I was able to score around 57. In the last exam I've given, it is around 60. I would say if I complete that in next cycle, I would around 60 easily in AFM. In audit, I'm able to complete by this time 60% of the syllabus I have completed, which includes new concepts also. And whatever the 40% was there, in that I have studied earlier the concepts which were from the past syllabus also. It is continuing syllabus. That I can recall things very well. So as of now, I was scoring around 45 on the state audit.
So talking about his group 1 FR, 40% syllabus is yet to be done. Still he is able to score, let's say, 45. AFM syllabus is reasonably done, probably 55. I'll mark it at 50 plus 45, 95. Audit has done the work, but then probably score in the range of 40, 45. So that way we're looking at 125, Hari, 125, 130 will happen.
Yes, sir.
This is in group 1. Group 2, DT and IDT, what's the status?
DT and IDT, I spent around 10 days each. For IDT, it is 9 days. I completed maximum possible of the syllabus. In DT, it is whole syllabus I've covered. In IDT, some miscellaneous chapters like demand, appeals, recovery of tax, those are pending. But in DT, a whole syllabus was completed, and reasonably I was scoring around 55 to 60 in DT and 55 in IDT, sir.
Okay. The way we are working around it is, one is probability. Everybody has a probability of clearing. We're focusing on certainty. Now, certainty, he has the probability of getting, let's say, 230. But certainty is 200. No matter what the question paper is, no matter what is mood on the day of the exam is, he'll definitely be able to touch 200. Now, I want a certain 250. So for that, based on the current work, what has to happen in the next 5 weeks? So.
Yes, does he have the schedule ready? I think we have the schedule right for what should be done.
The schedule is clear. See, for him, what I'm making do is 25th to 31st. One more cycle of mock. Whatever is saying orally, I want to establish practically. This time we'll evaluate. He will do the evaluation and we'll evaluate from our side. So on March 31st, we'll know where he is, point A. It's 200, 220, 230, 190, everything is fine. This is point A. Now, based on point A, we'll work the entire schedule of April. April will do 50-hour challenge, 4 days into 5 subjects is 20 days. And another 1 week is for fixing the gaps in the weeks of the con subject. And 4 days, last 1 week is for recovery. So that way, this is exactly what I planned for. So over and above this, do you think something has to be done? Some other step?
Currently for me, sir, currently for me, it's just 50% of that what we need to clear the exams. So it's already completed something, 40 to 50% of the syllabus. So it's better you focus on that 40 to 50% clearly. Whatever question ICA is going to ask, you have to answer it from the 40 to 50% that you have already completed. And the rest, 40 to 50%, you have to, in that 40 to 50%, you can also complete at least 20 to 30% from the rest of the 50%. You have to complete 20 to 30% while you're preparing for your already completed 50%. So that the 50% will be good. You are good at attempting 50% of the paper, and 20-30% you already know what it is. So in a way, you are almost at 80% of the syllabus. So it will help you write 50% clearly, and 20 to 30% you can attempt based on your preparation level for the other out of 50%, you can attempt 30% of the paper. So it will end up having at least 50 marks for you you have to prepare in such a way that you have to have 50 marks. So that's where you can clear both groups or single or so.
Fair enough. No, anything else, Teja, Nish?
No, I think is already there's the status is similar to what I had for
Okay.
my
Hmm.
group 2.
Hmm.
Since it's writing both groups, that's fine. But the similar,
Still, it's both papers
I
are
had a
practice.
similar status.
Hmm.
So there, my preparation was also similar to his, like, where I was able to score 40-45 plus in each subject, but then I still had some uncovered portion.
Hmm.
So what I did was I shifted my last 1 month, if I have to talk about, I shifted my focus on, I gave priority to revision first. Once that is done quickly, I mean, each day it is revision plus additional preparations. So whatever tasks, whatever targets I had assigned for that particular day for revision, once I get done with that quickly, I'll have that bandwidth for taking up new topics or uncovered topics for that sake. So that really helped me push my score in group 2. So I connect with him in that regard. So I think he's already there. Last 1 month after the mock exam, whatever you're planning to make him write. Once we get to know the point A, I think we can shift the focus to revision, and then parallelly, based on his bandwidth, we can address the uncovered portion. Mainly, I think it is more of, I think the concern is audit scoring and FR, I think he'll manage, but audit is something where if you have some uncovered portion, that's a risk
Right.
you carry. So that is something which we can work on definitely. But other subjects, pretty much based on his status, I think.
Understood. Fair. Anything you want to add, Teja?
You should stick to the schedule, okay? That's it. He's on the way.
On the way, yeah.
He'll
They
definitely
also
do it.
watch revision videos of them. If they are not getting time,
Okay.
whatever time they're able to manage on 10 to 15 minutes, they could watch videos available on the YouTube to get some grip on the uncovered portion.
Fair enough. Good. So Hari will continue this conversation, but have this insights on your mind, because you are at the top, you're almost at 70%. I'm attaching 70 because 90 is the highest probability. Normally 10% is the probability of passing. Last time it was 9% for both groups. Now I'm taking it to 90%. 100% I can never give to anyone, but 90%. You're at 70%. So do the steps and make sure you get there. And apart from that, we'll facilitate individual conversations and all. But you're almost there. So all of them are saying they're able to correlate to their level of preparation. You're doing it. Just add these 2-3 things into the picture. And one important insight which Nish was able to give was, FR you can afford to leave the syllabus, audit you can. Audit you cannot afford to leave the syllabus. So that's the reason why even for most of you, we spend the highest amount of time for audit. You cannot afford to leave the syllabus. See, there is one random paper which comes that screws up the whole attempt. Now you cannot come back and say that we had a difficult or different paper. The question is, how are we saying the attempt? Attempt has to be saved no matter how the question paper is. So that unrealistic question paper is hard if it turns over to the audit. FR, only the length gets extended. Like FR, if it has to be difficult, the length gets extended. But audit, it can be anything. So you're almost there, but yes, I think we'll continue from here. Vamsi, can you come to the place where Hari is sitting? So come where Hari is sitting, because there's better light here. Or you can use the same camera also. You need not carry it. Anshu, you also come down to Teja in 10 to 15 minutes, because I just want you to listen to this conversation now. You can start at 8:15 or something, Anshu. Okay, once the conversation with Mitra and it is done, then you can come down. Okay, I just want you to be informed in 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah. Vamsi, you can unmute yourself. So with Vamsi, okay, to what has happened, like her mom got involved, and I'm very close to Vamsi's mom, and basically Vamsi's preparation, he has got an exemption, and then one difference was Hari already had a stronger base when he started. So he had a stronger base, and for him it's easy and seamless. He can study seamlessly in general. Vamsi is a bit like you, like he has the capability, but sometimes his thoughts kind of are deviating, but he's picking up fast. Like Hari has a different capability, but Vamsi has a different capability. Hari's preparation is far more predictable, but Vamsi, it's a bit maverick, but we can bet on it. Okay, if last over 20 can be hit, we can send Vamsi. So that's the advantage he has. So Vamsi, before I kind of take the response from him, please Fantastic. So please explain your current status of preparation from your perspective, like the way Hari has did for each and every subject.
Currently, for me, basically for all the 5 subjects, I have covered the important topics, especially for the group 1. And in group 2, DT and ITT, I have covered the full syllabus, basing on the important questions which cover every model. So DT and ITT, it's
No,
fairly
start with FR in the same order. Start with the structure. Start with FR, same order. Continue.
So in FR, I have covered the priority A topics. Same goes with SSF. And auditing, I need to have a fair bit of more time to cover the syllabus. So that's the group 1 status. And for group 1, basically, I'm in the mark of around 40 to 43. And in group 2, I have covered like almost more than 90% of the syllabus, basing on the different models on each chapter. And basing on that, I'm comfortable with around 45 plus in those 2 subjects.
So this is such a question.
So important thing is like as you get near to the exams, your quality of study and revision increases. Nothing to worry about it. Just do the timetable again and focus on one subject at a time. You will be good to go.
Suresh, you want to add something?
He's currently at 40 range
in
all subjects. He has to work upon 40 will get you clear the subject, but not the group.
Yeah, aggregate is a problem.
Aggregate is a problem. So you have to have your strong subject. So like we did in our batch, like where we have to have king and queen. So you have to know your king subject and you have to get more marks in those in that subject. Maybe in group 1, you have to decide yourself. So what is your king subject? Focus on it and able to get 55 plus. Not if not 60, at least 55 plus you have to score to get an advantage of like adding up marks to come over the aggregate. So that is where you have to be clear about it. Syllabus is something, sir. See, even for me, it hardly has 10 weeks, so I have to complete 7 papers. So syllabus is not one thing you have to worry about. You have to trust your efforts. You have to have revision multiple times, whatever you're reading, whatever you're completing. So the uncovered portion will be there, but you have to have your covered portion. You have to be clear about your covered portion. So at least, see, if you have a question in the covered portion itself, you should not be skipping. You should attempt 100%. You should get full marks for it. So you have, in order to do that, you have to be clear about your covered portion. Uncovered portion, you may be like covering it while you're preparing for the covered portion. But whenever you prepare for your covered portion, you have to be 100% sure. Like you have to have clear clarity on what you have studied.
Nish, you want to add something?
I think as group 2 status, we can do as a combination model revision plus uncovered questions.
Okay.
Group 1 I see is kind of slightly at a risk where, FR and SFM are only A category topics I think he has covered, not wrong. And audit is somewhere is a pain for him if I look at it. So group 1 has to be in a preparation mode, I feel, before getting into revision. But group 2 can go simultaneously, revision plus uncovered question. Along with exams, exams will really test you where you are. Each student will have his own way of evaluating marks, right? So even though each of you evaluate you're at a particular mark point, how accurate are you, when you're giving marks is also important. Say you're around 45 plus. I will still go ahead and cut 5 more marks. So that is why from that perspective, I'm saying group 1 is slightly at a risk. If you can focus more on preparation of group 1 before getting into revision, I think you will be covered.
It's like either 100, Nish, if I talk about it clearly, 100 in group 1 for 3 papers, probably 80 in group 2. That's what I look at it in a particular perspective. So that's the challenge. Vamsi, do you have any specific questions? I'll attach one of them to you to work on a personal level. But before that, right now, do you have any questions in general for all of them?
Nothing as such as of
Okay, fine. I'll decide whom you're going to work with. But yeah, as right now, the focus should be on comments. So right now, the focus is on how do you get to 40 in each of these papers. That's the first step. 40 for sure, certainty. As Nish said, we always have to deduct 5 marks from where you're getting 40 in each paper and then 50. First, it has to be sorted. And the advantage is this time we have 4 days for audit and 4 days for IDT. Like that's one advantage which we have. We can bank. Audit and IDT, if I'm right? Audit and IDT. Those 4 days, I think those 2 papers we can cross the 45 mark. 5 to 7 extra marks because of extra 2 days. The remaining papers is what we have to work on. Especially audit is the thing which we'll have to work regarding. Okay, yeah. So the way we are doing this, we'll do it for other students also, and we'll do it for inter students tomorrow or some other time. Inter also will specifically do it. But the reason why I want all of you to stay covered is because this will sift your thought process by 2-3 weeks. Whatever will take you 2-3 weeks normally. It's very different, guys. One person talking to hundreds of people versus, a single person is being focused upon by 4 or 5 chartered at a time is a very different thing. So yeah, so stay tuned. So Mitra, come here, just grab a chair and come. Now we are facilitating a live discussion with Mitra. Okay. Yes. Guys, come to the picture. Is that out of the scope? Mitra, come to the center. Is everyone visible? Yeah. Cool. Now, Mitra, just explain us your status of the question now.
For audit and AFM, I've done my 2-week cycle. For FR, I've just started day before yesterday, and yeah. FR is not yet in a very comfortable position, but other 2 papers, I get minimum 40. That's the status right now. And
so, what is your weak subject?
audit.
And why is it so?
I don't know. It has been since my inter, because in inter also I got 40, right or not. So maybe it's my mental makeup or the effort you put, it won't reflect on your mark sheet. So that's the thing.
So if you have to let us know your current mark sheet, like what is your current mark sheet realistically and the lower side? Give us the lower side estimates of all the 3 papers.
Lower.
Yeah.
35 for audit and AFM. FR I haven't started, but yeah, 25 or 3.
So 100 is the minimum which we look at. Right? Yeah. What is the higher side estimate? Like best case scenario? Okay. Should you look at it? 80 to 100 is what Nish said. So Nish, what do you think? Like what, when you're at 80 to 100, let's say 90, how would we convert 90 into?
So yeah, this is also again similar to my group one status. It looks like
you will.
Recollecting that stress again. So yeah, so what different I did for let me talk about audit first, because even that was again, even though I was doing my articleship in audit, writing an exam and doing it practically are 2 different things. So the main problem in audit is I feel you get into that memorizing stage, by heart stage, right? Because you have to the ICI expects you to write that professional language, the technical terms. in order for you to score.
Hmm.
So for me, what was helpful, I'm not sure if the MCQ format is still there.
Yeah.
Right now, we have 30 marks in all papers. 30
In all
all papers, yeah, all papers.
Okay, looks like you're the generation gap. So yeah, for me, what specifically helped is MCQ for sure. See, even I struggled with retaining the technical terms. But what I used to put a constant effort is I used to write a lot for it. Whatever I'm reading, for example, let's say I'm doing standard essay 240 on fraud. So let's say I would be writing out what are the two categories, misappropriation, fraudulent financial reporting. So I used to write a lot for audit. And there was definitely uncovered portion. Okay, there are a lot of topics which I left, like liabilities of auditors, those small topics which I left. I left out on due diligence and all, which is already covered in law. So I used to do that smart work. See, whatever is covered in law, I never used to touch an audit again. Once you're studied in law, then that's it. Be it LODR, be it this due diligence investigation and all were common topics. I used to focus more on the core concepts like, Companies Act is one thing, standards was one thing, professional ethics, obviously, those were pretty straightforward, questions where you can answer, actually. And for MCQ, what I did differently is at least once I went through the entire syllabus during my preparation phase. Because of that, what happens is, it's like this: when you go and attend a class when you are in school, you'll at least retain something from the class, right? Even though you don't study till the last day of the exam, which you usually do, you'll remember at least something about that concept. So that is how it helped me in my MCQ. So I think in that way, if we proceed, I think audit should not be a problem. I scored an exemption in audit actually from a point where I used to get only 35, 38. The attempt which I cleared, I got around 61.
Recording in
So this technique should help most of you, especially you, because you're saying audit is a challenge. Don't take it as a challenge. Just address the core concept first, then we'll look what to do with the uncovered portion. Uncovered portion is mostly from an MCQ perspective. I would suggest just go through, quickly glance through. You can also take up the MCQ case studies which ICI posts, which are pretty difficult. Okay, that is not the standard of MCQ they generally ask, but yeah, that's a good way to scare students.
So apart from audit, what are the next subject?
Apart from audit, I think FR is just started, so
Yeah,
we'll never.
But FR is my go-to subject.
Though FI is a go-to subject, it is your first
very
paper in a safe one. So it will impact psychologically.
Yeah.
So if you're not doing your FR correct, giving your FR paper correctly, you're not attempting as you expected, it will affect your further papers.
Yeah.
So even though you're good at AFM auditing, but not doing good at FR will have a psychological impact on the other papers. So the concern with her is like you have to focus more on the FR. You have to be in a position where even though you're not preparing, even though you're not revising, you should able to get 50 in FR. So it won't impact the other subjects.
I think it requires one preparation cycle and one exam to actually know where you are. Once that is done, then you hardly have to, you will shift to revision mode, considering the time. So how long you started the work? 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days.
7 more days, I think. One cycle should be fine, and then an exam, and then you'll know the actual status of.
And AFM is sorted.
Yeah.
2 papers is what we're. So since you have only 3 papers, can we actually try 3 exams?
FR is go to audit. Yeah, we can try that.
Let's see where she goes.
I cleared from not passing and exam. It is possible. AFM, I think she's all kind of comfortable, right? Your preparation is kind of comfortable. There are high chances for it.
Okay. So everyone who wants an exemption in auditing, your go-to person is Mesh. So this is one less problem in my mind. So Suresh, what subject you're taking?
Sir, my go-to service are SCMP. It's not, not the SCMP.
That's what you're saying.
Costing.
Hmm.
So I kind of interested in costing because the concept that
Let's not talk about it, it's not there.
Huh?
Leave it. I'll put you for November batch where.
before I said
For where?
SFL can be.
Law is gone there. He's the law guy both for economic laws and this law. He's
I'll go for audit.
audit to already have one. But that over.
I'll ask Nish to take another.
Okay, now there's competition for audit. See, look at it. Good. No, this is nice. Okay.
So it will be a new experience for us also. Audit, I've already, the last attempt, the 10-day strategy we had.
Yeah.
I know that he's really good with theory subjects. Even when I was studying, he had taken for law, I think.
The reason for new interest in audit is like I'm currently in audit profile and I'm doing kind of research work in audit right now. I'm trying to do something else. I'll discuss with you later. That's the only reason I'm.
So your audit is
focusing on
sorted. No one is filling an audit. Now that we have more interested parties to solve the problem, audit is sorted, done, dusted, fantastic, fabulous.
Again, I would for everyone in this meeting, there's a bonus tip. Whenever you come across a technical term, see one example I'll give like inherent risk. Just go to ChatGPT. If someone finds it difficult to put it in reality, people say that audit is a theory subject. Audit is a practical subject. Okay, just because audit doesn't have numbers doesn't mean that it is not a practical subject. So people in general are thinking that if there are no numbers in that subject, it is a theory. No, that doesn't work that way. In clear technical sense, it is for all purposes. Law, audit, SCMP, these are all practical. All the papers we have are practical. Okay, nothing is like theory. For audit, if you find some technical term with which you are not very good, like you don't have a practical example of it, go to ChatGPT. Just type, for example, inherent risk. Type what is inherent risk in audit. Explain me with an example. That's it. You will get to know what happened. Okay, you'll clearly understand where inherent risk comes in audit. Okay, you can try this with any term in audit. This will give a clear picture of where this phrase or this word comes in audit. You say risk management, risk control, audit of controls. Just go to ChatGPT. What is XYZ in audit? Explain me with a practical example. Okay, you do this, you'll see a magic.
Perfect. Great. No, audit she has done something amazing. I'll show that. That is one thing which will take out exemption if she uses it. So now let's have Manju in the house. So Manju is like this cool kid who decided that she can clear both groups in just 1 month. She was doing everything in the world and suddenly she realized, okay, I have 1 month, let me start preparing. So with this context, take us through what is your current state?
Audit. I've
Louder.
been doing audit since I'm here.
Start with the first subject.
FR, okay. So FR is my go-to subject as well. So I'm reasonably comfortable in FR, barring a few topics. So that's about FR. I've not touched it in the cycle. AFM, again, I'm reasonably comfortable with it, but not to an extent that I can say even if you put an exam today, I'll pass on it. I need an extra set of revision and I need to go through it again. That's with AFM. And audit, I've been doing audit since the past 10, 12 days. So yes, again, it went pretty well, but there's a huge lack of conceptual terms in my wording of answers and all that. I've checked it multiple times and I've been failing there. So that's with audit. And DT and IDT, my last time I scored 30 in both, 30. So I've not touched it yet in this, this cycle of revision. So that's my status.
Yeah, so interesting status. So Nish.
Two groups, right? So I would say.
No, that's the question. Should we even stick to 2 groups? Because I want to start with a fundamental tension.
If you ask the student, they are more ambitious. She would still go ahead and write two groups. But according to me, I think FR you've not yet touched in this cycle, right? You don't know the actual status for this cycle,
Yes.
but you are psychologically gone. So we have a saying in audit, work not documented is not done. So, so until and unless you write an exam, we'll never know this is the actual status of FR. Audit, I've understood what's the problem. AFM also is fine. But when it comes to DT and IDT, when you're saying you've not yet started this cycle and you're still at 30s, I think your calendar is, let me say, 2 groups considering it's the last week of March. I would say let's address it group wise. Don't take up one subject in group one, take up one other subject in group. Focus, select one group, be it group 2 or group 1. It's we leave it to you. But complete that first and then we'll see. It's better to evaluate it that way, take it step by step. If you want to, I would suggest go with group 1 because you've not touched IDT. It will be like a waste, whatever you touch for audit. So it's better, according to me, I would not say stick to group 1, just start completing group 1 first. Then we'll take a call, evaluating on what is your actual, based on your EMT and all. I think that will be a more reasonable approach in your case. Not saying that I'm not demotivating you for not writing 2 groups because Suresh has done wonders already. But it's just that let's take it step by step rather than taking one subject from me. I think that is the best approach about it.
What is it, Ida?
Is it her first attempt or?
No, he has already given it last time. It was 3W.
Then there are pretty good chances he gives her best for the coming days. There are pretty good chances.
Now, how do you, like, what are the steps like? Okay. How should you look at
The best suggested method. Go with the group wise, not subject.
Okay, break the calendar for me. We have 5 weeks. So, how are you doing?
Since she's already started, done with audit for 10 12 days, I think stop the audit. Move to FR immediately because we want to see how, where you stand in it. Once we get that grip, I think eventually group 2 will be very clear about what to do with you. So, I would say FR, one cycle is required with an exam. SFM is revision plus the uncovered portion with one exam. Audit, you've already given the exam?
No. I mean, we've
Sure,
written a
if
period
you
of
don't-
exams,
yeah.
2 hour exams each day for a
And
period
the papers here.
for a period of 4 days.
And what is your
Score is this.
percentage?
For theory, it's 23 to 25.
In MCQs, we are scoring around 80 marks.
That is it.
No,
No,
it's not MCQs.
It's different. We have multiple papers.
Yeah.
Okay. So separate.
Yeah.
And this is only theory, right?
Yeah. So 20 out of 70 is what.
Okay.
Although she marks.
So yeah. I think,
35 is established. 35
yeah. So I think first will be FR cycle with your exam, then SFM one, division plus uncovered portion, then exam. Then again we'll see. We get an overview. Since this is already established at around 30 to 35. Adding those marks, I think we'll get to a point A and then we can take it forward. Better.
So FR to begin with, then AFR. And then once we reach a particular point where you are clear about group 1 for sure, then we'll take a one group. Make sense? Good. Any questions you have? Okay. Yeah, sure.
As we have a conversation.
I'm sure you can switch to the hot seat. This is cool.
Yes. There's similar problem. Even when I prepared for both groups, I used to prepare more for group 2 because I already had an exemption in elective where I have scored already 78. So I know if I'm able to make more marks in group 2, it will automatically
add up to those. That was one, because 1 week before the exam we had a college, remember, we wanted to switch to only one group. So, but then at that point of time, yeah, because it keeps changing every week. The whole point is it keeps changing every week. Depends on what you do and what you don't do somehow. But then you can't go with the burden of what you have to break it under that for but rest of you also the same, because a lot of people have an emotional inclination, but zero execution in that regard. So they keep failing 3 attempts writing both the groups. Instead, one would have been clear in just two attempts. Like that's the reason why some people have to break it down. Yes, Anshu, you come all the way from Kerala now. Help us understand your subject status.
So as far as I've just started,
Hmm.
actually I have done this in the past second, but I haven't attempted the exams, just prepared for it. So I have a blank of the subject, but not in confident in that. And this attempt, I have gone through most of the big standards, but because of lack of revision, I think most of the points I forgot. The status of effort.
Shepard is in the same level of progress where she cannot do much.
SFM was attempt I haven't started. Last attempt I have gone through that. Audit I've done for 15 days. But it's gone. Second group, DT and IDT, I'm very much confident in. I've done that 21 days. Last time also I was writing this.
So her second group is sorted. She is in the range of 85-90 out of 100.
So I have exemption in that.
So second group is reasonably sorted. She might need 10 days for this. So we have 25 days for group. How do we ensure? Because audit, you saw. No, this is after a lot of churning. Her fundamental learning process has had problems where it was largely memory based. So that is the reason why I made her spend 2 weeks on audit alone. Even after that, she still would have touched what 30 to 33, somewhere around that. And FR is comfortable but not yet done, and AFM is not yet done. So similar problem, a slightly different problem than Manju, but then both of them.
This is 2 questions out of 5 for exam. 1 hour exam. This is one.
This what I made her do is I gave her certain questions. Like it's an open exam where each and every line item in the index has been asked. So out of 4 marks, we gave her some marks. Like assuming objectives are 4 marks. Everything is like 4 marks. You should have got your real result. So that actual answer is given. Definitely. That's a different system which this would have. Here's another video. So group 2 IDT we have 4 days. I think that should be sorted. DT she meets a week. And group 1.
So group 2 only detail. So technically we have also planned for detail first subject being elective.
No, elective it's changed.
They cannot bother sir when the study say FR is not yet done because FR is something the first subject, it being the first subject of shape. They're saying that it is their go-to subject, but they need to understand as well. Saying one point and practically.
The problem is one thing. Remember the stats. 85% of the students fail in CA because of audit. Everyone fails in audit because of that. Here we are using audit as a context to build your mindset, routine, everything. Since it's complex, since it's hard. Right now we're collapsing their existing preparation structures. They are so random that it's useless. Now the complete reconstruction of how somebody has to prepare. Otherwise, what is happening is the same inefficiency is carrying to all the subjects. Now, by the time we're finished with audit, we are in a much better position, both in terms of mindset and routine and efficiency also. So that is something which we have been doing. By the time the reaches that far, we're in a reasonably good position to complete it in 7 to 10 days. That's where we are. Yeah. One more week would have been great.
My only point is it should not be ignored because
no, you cannot. Obviously, you cannot.
But I say
Yeah.
I say might hate in your first paper.
First paper. That's always done. That's the reason why we are 2 things. That's why we are using it the whole week there. And second, see, as you notice, all of them say that it's comfortable. So that is the reason why we're taking that chance of where
So it should not be like you're comfortable, but it should not be like lean. Should not be lenient.
So I think you're not able to picturize the concept when you're, when you're reading the standard code. This is SA 501 on special aspects of auditing, right? Special auditing.
Okay.
So in your inventory, when you're writing, there's a concept of inventory where third party, etc. So you have a lot of procedures for inventory. What happens if you're able to count? What happens if management or you are unable to go and count? What are the alternatives? So you have to keep yourself in that actual physical inventory count to actually understand what are the procedures. Okay, how are you getting comfort as an auditor while you're reading through the procedures? If you're able to picturize that, I think because most of the points are more generic. Classic example is verify all the documents relevant to inventory is very, very generic. You should rather say you would verify the issues and dispatches and inwards and outwards. So be very specific because what are the documents? So when you are at the inventory count and if you picturize yourself being physically present there, then when you're reading the standard, you will be able to relate more and your answers, the quality of your answer will increase. If that is corrected, I think, and no short forms for sure. Yeah, I think only that is the only problem I see. Else it is fine. So memory is all depends on the situation. It's just that you have to be mentally present in that particular place, whatever you're reading. Be it if let's say you're doing company side, treat it like you're having a discussion with the client. If a client comes and asks you a question, what are the criteria for rotation of auditor? So keep it like a if you want, you sit in front of a mirror and just try and interact with yourself. If plain reading is not working out, these are some of the things you can do. Try to get it more practical because standards are definitely practical oriented questions only. You will get a case study and then he'll ask you to answer it quoting a particular standard, or if he has to torture the student, he'll not even quote the standard. Right. So and another pain point in auditing is you should be able to identify what he's asking exactly. Sometimes in topics like professional ethics, you think it is one clause, but he's asking another. Right. That happens when you should that is called as understanding the concept. You being mentally there and going through the procedures as if you yourself are doing. I think if you're able to get to that level, I think your quality of answers will automatically. You don't have to write it word by word. Like if ICI book has it in a particular place, ID, you don't have to write it there itself. That is not the technical language. What I mean, technical language is sufficient and appropriate audit evidence, risk of material mistake, as you quoted inherent risk. Those all are the technical terms which you have to focus on. But the rest of the language can be generic. That is fine.
Once you understand them practically,
Yeah.
the technical language comes from within. You need not
practical application you have to focus on. Just try to go to that particular place. For example, you are in a pharmaceutical inventory count. How do you count? I mean, you are at the place. Take case one. Management is allowing you to observe the physical inventory. What will you observe? You'll observe whether he's counting all the boxes or not, whether he's keeping the record. Then you'll take a signature, etc., etc. What if the management is not allowing? You'll ask some other person to go and count. Something like that. Be in that moment, and I think you will be able to understand. That is the only thing I see, which is lacking. But apart from that, you are using technical terms. No short forms, please. CFF, SAAE, and all no short forms. Write the entire thing, even if sir has given you only 15 minutes to answer one entire question. Write the entire thing, it will increase your speed. That was more.
think like if it is sufficient and appropriate audit evidence, why can't we write all the available audit evidence? The meaning is it. Just break it down. What is sufficient? What is appropriate? Sufficient in the sense, if we can make based on that, if we can make something appropriate, if it is relevant, this evidence is relevant for the audit. That's the whole meaning why those two words are placed there. You can't write all the available audit evidence and give an opinion. That's the reason we are putting sufficient and appropriate. Once you get this scratch, you will never write any other word. You will definitely write it as sufficient and appropriate word. The same goes with any technical term. Once you understand what the technical term says, like what does it mean in practical sense, you'll never forget it, and you will never go for any alternate term in search of in the exam. Understand it? They come from within.
So I think the approach can be, since DT one cycle is left or an exam is left.
DT should run an exam also.
So we have done the 21 days.
Yeah, that's what
cycle
we're
for
running.
eight
Please.
months.
So DT and IDT are pretty much sorted.
Sorted in the sense, yeah, for 85 to 90.
Then yeah, again I think will be FR first and
Currently, he has started FR and taking time.
FR first, audit next, and then AFM, and then it is a revision. That's how it's better to proceed because group 2 is already sorted. Don't compromise on your group 2. Just shift into group 1. That will likely carry a risk. Group 2, you should be in touch with group 2. At least if you want to, when you're on a break, just keep on audio TDS, for example. He will keep on telling this the section. You will at least recollect a few important things. Stay in touch with the subjects, but your focus should shift to group 1, I feel, FR especially. It's more of a psychological thing. You know that you're confident in the subject, but you will not know the exact question until you write down.
This was happened.
Yeah, I mean, you also lack practice because you are emotionally, you are very confident कि ठीक है FR हो जाएगा, but and when you have to answer that, no, your pen will not move. That is the issue. So FR preparation, guys have to start. He is very worried.
This was happened with me. Sorry, in my first attempt, FR was my go-to subject, but I know almost 80% of the paper, but I couldn't write it.
Yes. You know
I
the
couldn't
words.
do it. And the paper was dead easy. Dead easy. I mean, the consolidation problem, the releases were dead easy, but I couldn't move my pen because I lack practice. So my only point is, it's okay, it's your go-to subject, but you have to be on top of it.
Fair enough. So for all of you watching this, I think, yeah, we should comment the picture. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Anshu, shift to the sofa, maybe. Remove the chair, someone can bring into the center. Chair. This is interesting. Suresh, Teja, go ahead. Okay, so today was more of a brainstorming session. So I hope everyone was able to correlate with their current stage of preparation. So we're going to get deeper in the days to come, but this is exactly how it is going to be. So we're looking at it as a problem which can be solved. Now it's no longer a decision of whether it will happen or not. If it has to happen, how can you make it happen? So whatever you have to do individually, it has to be done. The mentorship process in general is already working, and apart from that, we are bringing in individual attention on with these experts. So that way, we should be able to hit it. So that is the reason why we are taking this very, very seriously. As I said, all the screens name should clear. So accordingly, decisions will be made. One group or both groups. It's not a question of what you want. It's a question of what can happen. So attempting both groups is different from clearing both groups. So please understand. Most importantly, I'm the most optimistic person I know. So when I advise something, I have to convert that in terms of the practicality. So don't get stuck to bullshit assumptions. So get realistic, and come out of that emotional zone. Like some of you are still revolving in that useless loop. Come out of it. Get your sort things. Like this is the last day where I want to talk about mindset and routine. done. Enough is done. And I'm not also going to talk about syllabus completion. Syllabus completion also done. Directly going into a bit of revision and exam practice. On that particular day, in those 3 hours, only one person gets tested. Which one person we don't know. But the point is, remaining 99% doesn't get tested. Even if you don't know the remaining 99%, it's okay. So it's a game of how are you going to say that 50% of that 1%. End of story. So 10 questions, right? If you know 4 to 5 questions properly, clear the paper. All of us know that. 5 questions. 5 questions, you know it. Like 5 questions into 8 marks on average, 40 marks. Properly. You score 25 to 30 in that. You're done. That's it. Remaining paper would not matter. Now MCQ out of 30, we're targeting 18 very clear. We'll give you all the inputs required to get 18 here. Now remaining 70, let's get another 25 out of 70. At least you're crossing the basic 42 in each paper. Fundamental level, that's 1. And over and above, in some papers, aggregate will go here and there. And it's like writing one group quiz. I'm telling you time and again, when you're having 5 papers, these guys wrote 4 papers for one group. You're only writing 5 papers. It's like one group plus one paper. So technically, both groups is also very simple. And it's a crime to fail in one group. If you're writing only one group and you're failing, it's a crime. Now, this is exactly how it is going to operate. And now we understand. See, the reason being because we keep getting why is the attention different from online offline? I can't replicate this. Tell me how do I do it for online guys? Now this is what I'm trying to tell you. Now the point is, this is the possibility which I always told you. So even right now, as I'm saying it on record, we'll support whatever we can. But this is what can happen offline in general. It's not about this attempt or anything. In general, this is a possibility which companies also realize. This is not something which is for HLS as such. This is what Deloitte talks about. This is what every company on the planet is talking about, offline, because they want to focus on the efficiency, not how cheap you can do something, how best you can do something is the question which you are looking at. So yeah, with that context, I think we're signing off for the day. We'll continue the conversation. Like we have a lot of work to be done throughout the day, and I'll give you an update tomorrow. So meanwhile, continue working on this. And the format is simple. Go to the learning objectives. If index mapping is not done, spend 10-15 minutes index mapping, learning objectives, solve the questions, and then start the chapter. So do it with more diligence than ever before. And we'll address all your concerns today because it was more about solving case studies for some of you. And that is exactly what we are done. Okay. Is that fine? Is that clear? Okay. So let's take a click. I just want all of you to pose with your thumbs up. Yeah. Online, offline, wherever you are. Prasad? Yeah, cool. Kushal? Wait. Got up? Okay. Somebody's son is not with you. Now, what is this? You're giving your assurance that you are going to clear in May 24. And these guys are saying that I'll make everyone clear. So I did not raise anything. So for me, I'm a free bird. Okay. All right, guys. So thank you for joining this today. I'll share the insights and I'll update what's going to happen next. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day. You guys, you want to say something? Closing?
Bye.
Bye. That's it. What? Anything?
They have a lot to do.
Okay.
Let us lead them.
This guy is hungry, so that's the reason why he's not speaking. And he's been-
Not stressed, I would say.
It's loaded. Yeah. I woke them up. I literally called them. They're supposed to be ready by 5 o'clock. They're not even waking at